Hello and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and happy Valentine's Day to you all. And we've got something a bit different for you today. This is not a Sudoku on screen. This is a logic puzzle, a Fillomino variant by none other than Serkan. And if you know Serkan's name, he is one of the great puzzle constructors in the world. And the reason we're doing this is a bit of a celebration. GM Puzzles, I recommend you check it out. Have I got it on screen? I might have it on screen. Here we go. Yeah, so this is gmpuzzles.com, which is basically, it's a website that's run by Serkan and my friend Thomas Snyder, the 3-time world Sudoku champion, former world puzzle champion as well. And it's a subscription website. So basically the way it works is I think they have 3 or 4 seasons a year that last about 12 weeks. And in any week there are, I think, over a dozen puzzles that are published. And just before each season, they have a free week where basically they publish puzzles that anybody could get. So you can see them on the screen here: the Star Battles, Number Links, by some great names from the puzzling community. And yeah, I was going to recommend that you go and check it out. I will put a link under this. Araf, that's a good puzzle. And go and have a look at what they've got on offer, because you might enjoy it. And Serkan has been very kind and has, I think it's $10 or $12, by the way, if you want to subscribe. But Serkan has been very kind and created a special puzzle for us to have a look at, sort of showcasing GM Puzzles style, if you like. And I think this is meant to be quite a difficult one. So I think the way it works on GM Puzzles is they work up towards Sunday being the most difficult day. And on some Sundays they have a stumper, which is a rock solid puzzle. And this is a stumper that we're going to be having a look at today. I'd say Fillomino variant. I will read you the rules in a moment or two's time, and we'll have a look at what Serkan's got in store for us this Valentine's Day. But speaking of Valentine's Day, if you own any of our puzzle packs from our apps, so this is going to be Domino Sudoku pack, there's a Line Sudoku pack, the Gas Sudoku packs. If you own any of those, update your app today for Valentine bonus puzzles. So we've got a couple of puzzles as a bonus to say happy Valentine's Day to all those of you who've bought the app. So if you buy an app today, you'll get the pack. So go and check them out. We've got all of our apps are a bit different from the standard Sudoku apps that are available. Because they, of course, are full of handcrafted puzzles, which is what this channel's all about, showcasing human ingenuity, which in the puzzle world is still very much king. So yeah, I'll try and remember to put a link to our app pages on the screen now. Next, I'm going to give a shout out to Lepton for yesterday's Ludo, and that's not it. This is it. Lepton's puzzle from yesterday. This is astonishing. And loads of you have been finding it astonishing with good reason. And this is a 10 by 10 grid, by the way. Let me just tell you briefly the history of this puzzle. So if you asked, or if you've ever thought about the question, how many digits do you need to make a Sudoku, a classic Sudoku, unique? Most people know the answer is 17. This grid has 14 given digits in it. And it's 10 by 10, and you have to position the 3 by 3 boxes yourself within this grid. And having done that and worked out where the boxes go, 14 digits is enough to solve the puzzle as a classic Sudoku. And that, if you think about it for a moment, might just blow your mind. Incredible stuff. So definitely check out that puzzle. Also, by the way, check out that one, Jesper Josephson. There was a lovely comment from Sebastian on our Patreon. My solve of this is over on our Patreon pages right now. It took me over 2 hours to solve, but Sebastian left a comment this morning on Patreon saying something like, "This took me 3 hours to solve. This is the best puzzle I've ever done. Full stop." And it might well be. It is that good. So definitely have a look at that. And if you like really long Sudoku videos, then then you can watch my solve of it over on Patreon right now. Thanks to all of those of you who joined us for Hexcells last night. That was very good fun. We had we revisited the world of Monty Python at the same time as experiencing wine clicks together. So thank you to all those of you who joined us. And then I've got a couple of Valentine's Day shout-outs, actually both for birthdays, I think. Although, I'm worried that the second one might not be. Second one might just be a Valentine's message. But the first one's definitely a birthday. Ian, you have turned 30 today. Congratulations, my friend. And I know this because your girlfriend Rachel said that you'd appreciate a shout out. So I hope you have a day filled with huge amounts of chocolate cake. And then the next birthday it might just be a Valentine's love message. Sana, I think it might be. I hope I'm saying that correctly. It could be Sana, but I think it's Sana over there in the Netherlands. And this is from your boyfriend Sido. I think that's how you pronounce it. Again, I could be butchering this horribly. I don't mean to. Sido wrote us a long email explaining that you were both enormous nerds, so our type of people. And I think, Sana, you're doing physics at university, if I'm not mistaken. And Sido wanted to let you know that he loves you very much and is very proud of you. So a nice message today. And I hope you're able to have that message with cake. Now, let's see what the great Serkan has in store for us. Let's have a look at GM Puzzles Stumper. It's a while since I've done a logic puzzle on the channel, and a stumper might be very difficult. I know Mark's tested this, and I think he found it very hard. So these are the rules. Divide the grid along the grid lines into regions called polyominoes. So that just means create shapes. That's a shape. Place a number inside each cell equal to the total area in number of cells of the polyomino it belongs to. Well, okay, so if that was a polyomino, we would write 8 into it because it's got 8 cells. Gosh, that 8 looks strange to me. Is it blurred, or is it just, maybe it's my vision? I don't know. No two polyominoes of the same area or with areas that differ by 1 can share an edge. Okay, so that's not quite standard Fillomino. So in normal Fillomino, if you had a region of size 8 like this, you couldn't have another region of size 8. That might be I think that's got 8 cells in it. So if you did this and put 8 in here, that's not allowed because these two areas of the same size share an edge. Now in this puzzle, I think we're being told, let's delete that square and make that a 7 region. That is not allowed in this puzzle because obviously 8 and 7 are consecutive. And similarly, if this was 9, that would also be equally invalid. So if we did that and put 9 in there, that's not going to work either. The number at the top left of each cage gives the sum of all the numbers that appear inside of it. Numbers may be repeated in cages. Wow, okay, so what that means, let's restart this. What that means is that, that 45 therefore contains a quite big number, at least one quite big number, possibly 2 quite big numbers, because the 2 digits in here have to add up to 45. So imagine this was, that's really interesting. So the minimum you could put in here, actually I'm going to struggle if there are big region sizes. Oh, right, that's explaining the last bit of the rules. Right, hang on, I'll come to that in a moment. Imagine this was we made the digits as close together as we could, and I was about to say 22 and 23, but that won't work, will it? Because 22 and 23 are consecutive. So all right, so we can't do that. Let's make it 21 and 24. Then this would have to be, if this was the 21, it would be in a 21 size region, and this would be in a 24 size region. Those are quite chunky things. How big is the grid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. So we've got 121 cells in the grid. And okay. Now, okay, so the last bit of the rules says for the answer check to work, the answer check will work with the units digit. Okay, so that suggests there are enormous regions in this puzzle. So if this was 20, what did I say, 21 and 24, then the answer check would have to have a 1 in this square and a 4 in this square for the answer check to work, because we can't put in double-digit numbers in the software, because obviously the software Sven has made, which is fantastic, is built for Sudoku. Normally you don't enter 24 into a Sudoku grid. Anyway, they are the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play. Let's get cracking. So, that's a 97 cage. So, what does that mean? Well, that has not got 3 digits the same in it, because 97 is not divisible by 3. So, but so I don't know. So I was just wondering about putting a 1 in the corner, and then these two squares would add up to 96. I mean, yeah, you probably can't have a 96 region. And sorry if this is a stupid thing to say, but I'm just trying to mull over how this rule works. Oh, no, actually, hang on. They can't be. They'd have to add up to 96, wouldn't they? Oh, I see. So they could be like 48. Right, so you can have a 1 in the corner and 48s in these two squares. And then you'd have 48, 48, 1, which do add up, I think, to 97. And then I only need a 48 region, and that would have to dodge all of the 42 and 45 dominoes. It's probably here. This must be where we start, isn't it? Because that non-consecutive rule is going to make that quite hard to fill. Yeah, because ordinarily, in ordinary Fillomino, you could populate this with lots of ones that wouldn't touch it. Oh no, hang on, you've got to be a bit careful there, because I need that cell to be. All right, let's invert that then, because I need to put something in that cell that either has to get out if it's bigger than a 1, or it's got to be a 1. So if I put 1 there, then I can't put 1s in those squares, but I could put 1s. I could make a dice shape, a 5 dice dotted 1, couldn't I? And then these could all be 2s in ordinary Fillomino. And then what would we have? We'd have 12. 12, not 17. But here we can't do that, because obviously we're not allowed to have consecutive regions. So if we did have a 1 in the middle, then we could have 3s in all of those, and then we'd have 12, we'd have 16. So that's still not quite right. Yeah, but you could just increase one of those to 4. It looks quite difficult for it not to be that at first blush, although what I haven't thought about is whether we can put different numbers other than 1 in the middle. So let's think about that. If you put a 2 in the middle, what then happens? The 2 would grow into 1 cell, so that would be a 2. But then these couldn't be 1s or 3s, could they? So they'd be at least 4s. In fact, that's interesting. So if you put two 2s, if you put 2 in the middle, no, it's much where it breaks immediately, because you've got to put 4s into all of those squares at least, because none of those squares, and obviously if I put the 2 here or the 2 here or the 2 here, it's the same logic. So you'd get an absolute plethora of at least 4s, and that's at least, we've already got 22 in the region. That's broken absolutely. So that probably means you have to put 1 in the middle if you put 3. Ah, 3's weird. 3's better. 3's, why is that? 3 is better than 2, because 3 allows you to put 1s in the ring. If you put a 3 there, I'm not sure if it's better to do that or it's better to do that. It might be better to do that. And then you could do 1, 1, 1, 1 again. You always seem to end up with ones in the corner if you're trying to be efficient. Okay, but what are these two now? Because these can't be 2 or 4 or 1 or 3. So these are at least 5. And now we've got what? We have got 10, we've got 20. That's way too many. Way too many. Let me just try that again with 3 going more. Then I could make those ones, make those ones. That's going to be worse, isn't it? I've got 3 5s now at least. Right, that's really interesting. Okay, so as we're moving away from a 1 in the middle, we're just getting further and further from anything that's going to work. 4, we don't want too many 4s because we know we can populate it. Basically, we know that the minimum we've found is when we put 1s in there and then 3s in there. I mean, that adds up to 16. We could increase one of them, and that I think is the only way you get to 17. Or some rotation thereof. Yeah, because if you put 4 in the middle... Oh no, okay, that might work in a different way actually. I've just thought of something else. Why doesn't that work? 1, 2, that should be the same total as we had before. Yeah, that works. Right, so there is actually a choice then about what you put in the middle. Okay, so does that... but you can't put 3 in the middle. Because if you put 3 in the middle, it stops too much of the grid being 3s, because now I could put 3 there, but now I can't put 3 in those two. Whereas if I don't have 3 in the middle, I can have more 3s in the ring. That's weird. This is fascinating. This is very strange. So I can put 4 in the middle, and I can put 1 in the middle. And I'm guessing 5 won't work, because even if I go out with alacrity and then efficient, make everything else efficient, this is too big, isn't it? That's going to be, I feel like that's going to be 18. Yeah, which it is. Yeah, okay. All right. So we know that the central digit is 1 or 4. And I think we know that this is... Yeah, we can't put the 1s in those 4 positions, because then the middle cell cannot exist. So we have, the best we're going to ever do is the 1s in the corners. I think that is forced. 1 or 4 in the middle, mostly 3s and 4s around the, well, mostly 3s and 1 4 around the edges of the 17. And therefore, what have we actually learned about the puzzle? Well, okay, so we therefore, well, no, we don't know. Oh, hang on, the 4, if this is a 4 in the middle, it can only go out in one direction, because if we did something like this, whoops, then we've blown the cap, haven't we? Because we'd have 2 3s there, but this is adding up to 18 again. So okay, so we can only put... the 4 can come out in one direction. So it's a bit Harry Styles-esque. And the 3s... Yeah, so the 3s are then going to sort of radiate out from the middle, where whichever one of these is not 4 is going to have radial 3s coming out. So that means that digit is a 3 or a 4, and that digit is a 3 or a 4. And that means there's some enormous regions in the 42 and the 43 cages. And that, so let's just think about that. So this digit is either either a 39 or a 38. That's quite a lot. And this digit's even bigger. No, it could be the same actually. I hadn't thought of that, but I just thought of it. If that's a 4, then this is a 39 as well. So how do we get? Yeah, that would work. So you could have a 39 there and a 39 there and join them up, which is probably what happens. Right, but how actually do we? But how do we ever know how it joins up? I suppose if it's 39, which we know this is a massive number. Let's give it a colour. That is a massive number. And that is a massive number, but it might not be the same massive number. But it probably is the same. Let's say it was the same. How do we join these up? Now these are massive numbers, so they can't go through the 17 cage. So they'd have to sort of either loop round like that or loop round like this. Yeah, and they're probably going to have to visit the 97 cage, aren't they? Because that's got to have some whopping great numbers in it. And then we've got an 81 cage here. Why does my brain want to put 2 9s into that cage? That's total nonsense. It's not we're not multiplying. We've actually got to have 2 digits in there. That yeah, okay. You've got to have 2 digits in there. Different numbers. Yeah, 9 times 9 doesn't work because it's got nothing to do with the rules of the puzzle. But if you couldn't even have 41 and 40 in there. They are consecutive. So the smallest number that this gives rise to, is it the same number as this? This could be what was it? 41 and 40 doesn't work. So 42 and 39 is as close. So there is a 39 region at least. Yeah, so that this either spawns sort of 2 equally sized cages, 39ish and 42, but in an extreme situation it could be an 80 and a 1. But what was this? We said that was possibly 39, didn't we? That was the way we got both of those colours to be the same, was making this 39 and this 39. And I could have a 39 in here along with a 42. Yes. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. How far apart is that from that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Is that what I wanted it to be or not? No, that is what I wanted it to be. That's very interesting. Right. Right. Yeah. So what we're saying there is that if this is the biggest, yeah, the way to think about this is the biggest number you could put in this cell is 18. Because I can't put 19 there because this would be a 0 and that doesn't have a meaning in Fillomino. So I could put 18 here. And then if I try and trot along the grid as efficiently as I possibly can to get into this cage, I can't quite do it. Well, I couldn't do it last time. I'm just going to double check. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. That's what I got last time. So you can't do it. Now what that means is that it's not possible for any Fillomino region that emerges from this 19 cage to share anything with what's emerging from this cage. And the reason that feels like it's interesting is that 81 and 19 are 100, which means that virtually the whole grid, especially if we can't overlap, which we can't. Yeah, here you go. Here you go. This is what's going on here. So altogether, the regions that emerge from the 81, the regions that emerge from the 17, and the regions that emerge from the 19 are totally mutually exclusive. There is no commonality. And that adds up to 100 and... Well, although... Is it always true? I mean, I've been assuming in my brain that if that's a 17, it uses up 17 cells. Is that true? That feels true. We're going to have regions of 3s coming out, except for one region, which is going to be a 4. So let's say it did that. I mean, I don't think it can do that because it'll break the 42, but something like that. Yeah. 13, that's 17. Oh, plus the middle. Oh, that's weird. Hang on. Oh, now I've confused myself. I'm gonna have to think about this more carefully. Sorry, I'm just gonna get rid of those greens. So, if these were, I'm trying to work out how many cells that this middle thing is responsible for, and I think it might depend on what this is. So, if the middle cell is a 4 and it comes out 4 like that, then 10. 13, 17. Yeah, but if that's a 1, then that's a 4. So this would change colour to be green, and that's a 4. I don't want to put it in there because I can see it's wrong. Then I feel like I've used one more cell. I have used one more cell. I've used 18. So it depends what the middle digit is as to how much real estate, what emerges from this 17, the middle of the grid jiggery pokery, how many digits that actually consumes. But I don't think it changes the conclusion, which is that very clearly we've only got 3s and 4s emerging from this 17 arrangement in the middle, whatever it looks like. And you can't, with 3 or 4, you can't get into this 19 cage. You can't get into the 81. We need at least one. Well, we need at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 9, something like 9. And there's definitely no 9s in this 17 cage. So I think, actually, can I just delete the whole colour scheme? There we go. So we've got at least 117. And then remember, the whole grid is 121. So there's very few degrees of freedom. If that central digit is a 1, then we've got 118. Which is interesting. So this 97. So there are regions totaling. Hang on, how does this work? I'm worried now that I've misunderstood the way this works. I'm a bit perplexed by the fact I get a different total for how much it radiates from the arrangement in the middle, depending on what digit this is. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, it is actually, it is quite complicated. It's quite complicated because that 12 cage, if that was an 11 and a 1, then the 11 would trot off round the grid and consume 11 cells, and the 1 would consume 1 cell. So those two digits together, or the two regions that emerge from the 12 cage, would consume 12's worth of cells. But if that was double 6, on the other hand, and these were part of the same region, therefore, that could be part of a region that did that. And that only consumes 6 cells. So we need to be very careful here in these conclusions about how big the regions get. Now, I think... yeah, okay, so it depends, doesn't it, on whether... yeah, if you can't put the same digit into both positions, then you automatically are consuming that many cells, the sum of the cells. So if the 81, where the best we could do was a 39, was it in a 42 region, the 42 region will consume 42 cells, the 39 region will consume 39 cells. So it's totally legitimate to say that 81 will consume 81 cells. It's totally legitimate to say the 19 will consume 19 cells because that digit is different from that digit. It is not legitimate to say the 12 will consume 12 cells. I don't understand the 97. I think that's confusing me. I think that's going to have some hybrid number of cells. Yeah, well, the example we thought about earlier, it would only have 40. It would only consume 49's worth of cells. If there was one here and two 48s that were part of the same region, but that can't be two 48s because we've not had a 48 region yet. Oh, or have we? Yeah, could I have a 48 from here? Yeah. I could, although then, but haven't I got weird shaped regions from these two? I've got to be very careful here. And the 9 region is complicated because that, well, yeah, the 9 region, the 9, okay, I see. The 9 region can't consume 9. I don't have 9 cells free to give to the 9 region. Yeah, okay. Alright, I'm finally understanding what's going on here, I think. So the 81 is consuming 81 cells. That 19 is consuming 19 cells. This 17 and the middle cell are consuming at least 17 cells. So I'm up to 117 cells. And that 9... therefore has to be super efficient because we can't take the total number of cells used by the regions we're building up beyond 121. So I want to say that 9 has to be 3 3s. Oh, well, that would give me a 3 in the corner, which would be worth the song. Yeah. Yeah, so, and yes, there's no overlap, is there? There's no overlap, or is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9? No, I can't do that because then it wouldn't. If that was a 9, well, yeah, if it was shared 9 between these, I'd have to put double 0. This has been so carefully put together by Serkan. I can now see how the choices have been made in the numbers. So that 19 can't get to there. The 9 can't get to either that one or that one, because it would require just too many cells and put zeros in the rest of it. So this 9 is another mutually exclusive cage that shares the regions that emerge from it share nothing in common with the 81 or the 19 or the 17. So this sits alone as well. So now we're up to at least 120's worth of cells used by just the cages that we've got. So it is possible that there is one cell used somewhere else in the puzzle that could be a 1. Yeah, but almost the entirety of the puzzle, if not the entirety. If the central digit is a 1, then this arrangement uses 18 cells that have no overlap with this, and that's the perfect number. That is the absolute perfect number. And that would mean that we have to cover the whole grid with just the regions that emerge from this cage, this cage, this cage, and this cage. Nothing else. So the 97 couldn't exist independently of the 81 cages and the 19 cages. I mean, I don't think it would ever get to this cage. But I think fundamentally I'm concluding that must be 3 3s. Because if it was anything else, it can't get to here, and it would use more than 3 cells, and it would use more than 4 cells, wouldn't it? I mean, if we tried to do... I don't know how we could do it even. You could put 2 2s in there and a 5. That would add up to 9. But the 5 is going to use 5 cells. And the 2s are going to use 2 cells. That's 7 cells we've used. And we're only allowed to use 3 or 4. So that's got to be 3s. And that's 3 in the corner. That's 3 in the spotlight, losing its religion. Right. And therefore... Well, therefore, it's going to get very interesting. Because I've got virtually no degrees of freedom. I've got to cover the entire grid with what's... Right, so we might as well have colours here, mightn't we? Let's make that purple. Oh, sorry, that green, that purple. So that green... Or does it have to get out? I think it does. Because this and this, we said, were 30-something regions. 39s or 38s or something. Yeah, so we can't have we can't have 80 an 80 and a 1 region emerging from here, because we could never fill this 45 cage, for example, has to basically be built from the building blocks that are available to it. Oh, the 45 could get that. Or maybe something from the 19. Yeah, this is really interesting now. So this cage is either 39 or 38. That's forced. And that can have no overlap with the 19, or that one, or this one. So this cell is either, it's one of those 2 colours. And that cell is one of those 2 colours as well. Because again, it's too big to have any overlap with this. Now these could be the same colour. Now... what does that mean, if anything? So this I see, it also depends which way this 4, whether this is a 4 or not, doesn't it? So this 19, if it went in there, what would that mean? This could be like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It could be a 9. So this could be a 9 and a 10. But if that was right, this would be a 36 or lower region. But we know we need a 39 region or a 38 region to make this work. So this is either a 30... Okay, so if this was a 38 region, then the other region here would be a 43 region. But this couldn't be, no, you can't do that. That's impossible. If one of these regions was a 43 region, how could you fill the grid? Because you'd have a 43 region and a 38 region to play with. Now the 43 region couldn't go in the 45 cage because the other cell would be a 2. And that 2 cannot attach to this, 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 or this. And it's not within the degrees of freedom which we've got, which is 1. So the 43 couldn't go in here. So the 38 would have to go in here. And if the 38 goes in there, then that's got to go with a 7 region. And there are no 7 regions to accommodate it that could emanate from here, which takes 9 to reach this, or emanate from here, or emanate from here, or anything else. So there is not a 38 region, there is a 39 region. So this is a 39 region and a 42 region. So the 42 region here is attached to the 39 region, of whichever one of these is 39, it's attached to that. So that is a 9, and this is therefore a 3 by mathematics. And this is emanating from here, isn't it? Yeah, because it's emanating from this square. So that is a 3 by mathematics. So this is 3s. Now it doesn't actually, we've still got one more 3 to go, which might be to here actually. It might be forced to be. Yeah, it's going to be forced to be, isn't it? Because this 42 can't attach to the 42 region that's coming out of here, so it must attach to the 39. So we need a 3. That's a 3, and that is our first sort of, that's the first radial that we've built. Right, so we're going to have colours. That can be, the 3s can be blue. There we go. 1s can be orange. This is one of these colours, which is the 39. This is the same, so because that's got to be the 39 by maths, hasn't it? But what's this one then? So this one, if this one attached to the 39, you need a 6 region with it. And there are no such things in this puzzle as 6 regions, because you can't put a 6 region in there and get to here with it. So this one has the 42 region in it. And therefore, it's got a 3 in it as well. And that 3 can't come from there, so it must come, I want to say it must come from here in that little way there. I think that's forced, isn't it? It's so beautiful, Serkan. It really is. So that 3's got to bend round there like that. This is now a different, this is a new colour. Let's make it grey. And it's different from this one. So that one, this is going to get really complicated. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the colours from there. And I'm going to pick a colour for these two, because I know these are the same. I'm going to make these green. So that green has to get out. Now, yeah, so we know that this is some combination of green and grey, but don't know which side is which. This is a 2 digit because it's a 42. But does this go over the top, or does it go round here? It can't go through the 17. Don't know. Don't know. I'm not sure really. 17 feels like a very strange number as well, actually, because that can have nothing. That can have nothing to do with 39s and 42 regions. So that probably means this is a 70. Oh no, that wouldn't work, would it? I've got to put different numbers in here. I can't put the same number into these two cells. Oh, I see. Oh no, that wouldn't work either. So this, hang on. Oh, right. So right, I see. Yeah. Oh, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. I've got something profound to tell you. Yes. Okay, so we know these two colours are different, and I know these two colours are different, because they're both odd numbers. Now, we obviously can't just have things snaking here and then a separate thing snaking there, because these should have the same total. So how do we differentiate these totals? Well, there must be something shared between the 19 and the 17. But only one thing. And the only other region that we have available is something that reaches out of this middle box. But how do we get something to reach out of the middle box into here? There's only one way to do it, and that's this one. And this one now has to be of length 4 to get to here. So we can't have 4 in the middle anymore, because 4 in the middle wouldn't get to here. So this has to do that, like that, and that is a 1 in the middle, and this is a 3. And now our count is perfect for the whole grid. There is no degrees of freedom left. We have consumed the whole grid with 18 radiating from the middle, 3 more here, that's 21, plus 100, which is 81 plus 19. That is 121, which is an 11 by 11 grid. So now we award this its own colour, which will make purple. That one I can't remember. This is a 4, so this is a 39, which was the green colour. This is a 3, so that's got to go there at least. That's the blue colour. So this is a 3. That's not a 2, it's a 42. I don't really dare think about this 97. I'm trying to do this. Alright, well this is a 13 now, isn't it? Because that's a 4. So there's a 13 that must emanate from here, along with a 6. So this is a 6 in 1 and a 13. Well, that's interesting. That's very interesting, yes. Okay, so this is a 6 and a 13 to make them, because we need to donate 13 to the 17 clue here. Now, how does the 12 work then? What regions do we possibly have that we could use to make 12? We've got 42 or 39, you can't put them in a 12. We've got a 13, you can't put that in a 12. But a 6 you can put in the 12. And if you put 2 6s in, they would add up to 12. And you can just do it if you do that. So that is a region of 6. This is a 13. This is just, it's absolute genius setting, isn't it? It's ridiculous. So this now joins to this. We'll make this yellow then. I don't know how it joins, but it somehow that joins up. Okay, and now how on earth how do we attach grey to the 81 region, which is something we must do? We can't come through here anymore. So that's got to go over the top, because there's a virtual wall. I don't know where this 13 region goes, but I know these two join up somehow down here. So we can't send this round here anymore. It's going to be cut off. So this must be green and this must be green, because nothing can get through here. If grey can't get through here, green can't either. So that's grey. Okay, so this is where we're going to have to do the thinking. We're going to have to work out how the 97 works, which is going to be complicated. So what regions have we got available? We've got 42s and 39s. And that's probably... was about to say that's probably it, but that doesn't add up. There's no way I can put two 42s in 84, 13, but I don't think that's going to reach, is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ah, it does. Right, that's what it is. Right, so this 97 is, well, I think it's going to be 2 greys, which would add up to, which would be 42 twice. So that would give us 84, and a 13 donated from down here, which would give us 97. Now, the only other thing we could try and do, which won't work, it's not big enough. If we put 2 39s in there for 78, we need 19 more, and we don't have a 19 region. We have to make this work from regions that are already in the puzzle. So, in fact, this is 2 greys and a yellow. I don't think the yellow can get. I mean, the yellow mustn't cut off the grey. So I think it's forced. I think that's 2 greys, that's yellow. 1, 2. We might have to be, well, we're going to have to hug the boundary, aren't we? Because there can be no other region in the puzzle. We have to fill all of the white space in this puzzle with the green region, the grey region, and this yellow region. Ah, no, we've got one more blue here. One more blue. This is right. This is so cool. Right, so I think we literally do that, and I'm just going to check that that is the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right, so they are all 13s. Well, what colour's this? That can't be green. It would isolate this. So this is all grey. Everything in the puzzles, that's grey. Everything in the puzzle now is grey or green or one isolated blue. So again, we can't have green coming into these squares, because if we do, it's going to cut this grey off. So everything like that's grey. Don't know about those. I think that means that this is grey, because if that was green, you're going to get a crossing of green and grey, and they can't cross. So I think we now know that the top of the grid is the grey part, and that's green. How does this actually resolve, though? I don't know. Oh, I see. Okay, this is by far the bigger region, isn't it? Oh, goodness me. This is going to be some nutty... It's going to be some nutty loop thing. Yeah, what I'm trying to envisage in my mind is what happens if grey needs loads of digits or loads of cells from down here to be quarate and to reach its 42 size. How could it do that? And I'm noticing that it might be able to sort of weave some sort of ludicrous path down there. That's so going to be it, because look, this is leaving behind a sort of snake of green. Oh no! So how are we going to prove this then? Maybe it's forced. Maybe it's forced. So how many cells? Okay, let's assume we give grey everything we can give it. Everything we possibly can give it. And then how many? So that's 11, isn't it? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So 23 if we gave it all of those. Now, if we are going to try to give it stuff that isn't going to cut off all of this green real estate, I can't even remember what total I think I could give it all of... No, I couldn't do that. I could do that. I've got to leave a path that green can get through. Unless I don't quite know what that 3 is doing as well. So the path would have to turn up there. And then it would have to go there and there and there and there and there and there. Oh no, maybe no, it would have closed here now. So this is going to go looping round all of this. I'm just going to make that grey for a moment, because otherwise I'm envisaging a situation where green goes right round the corner here like this. Then it would go up there because it's got to get out. That would fix blue, look. So green would go to here. Green has to attach to this, so green could go to there. And that's going to give us the absolute, that is the maximum count you can possibly give grey. I feel like I might have got grey too big though now. I don't know. Well, there's only one way to tell. 11, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 29, 30, 35, 37, and another 42. That's it. That's the only way you can possibly do it. That is absolutely ludicrous. So right, so the final thing you have to realise is that the only way, let's put 3 in there, the only way you can give grey enough is to start pinching ludicrous cells from the bottom of the grid, and while still not cutting green off. Because of course if you start giving grey these cells down here, green can't just travel with alacrity to this point. It has to meander right and hug the border. Now I'm going to double check that. So this needs to be 39 long. This doesn't look like it's 39 long, does it? I'm hoping it is. So we've got 8 there, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32. This is not right, is it? No, 32, 36. No, it is right, 39. It is 39. So that's 39. That's 42. Oh, hang on. What do I have to do to make this work? I've got to put big numbers in. So I put 2s in there, 3s in there. Oh, I get another 3, and that's a 13 in the corner. So this might be correct, but we've got to draw the boundaries as well, because otherwise that would be wrong. And then hopefully we might just about beat the hour mark for the Sunday stumper that Serkan has made. This, by the way, what a sensational puzzle. I love the idea that you can get a full count on the whole grid from the sort of these funny regions in the corners. Let's do that. And that. And, oh no, and this. And finally, that. I hope I haven't missed a border somewhere. Now, will it mark this correct? It does. Solve counter 1. Well, that's not surprising. I think Mark's put it in the software for me. Do I like the puzzle? I certainly do. That is brilliant. Serkan, take a bow, my friend. That is absolutely brilliant. Baffling and brilliant and super interesting. And this is what they give you on GM Puzzles on Sundays sometimes, so do check it out and let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.